Hello YouTube, it's me, Brittany, and today is March 31st, 2020, and it is Transgender Day of Visibility, so here I am so that you can see me. I'm just kidding. So I wanted to do a short video today. I don't know if it's going to be short or if it's going to be long, I don't actually know, but I just wanted to kind of give some information as to why we have Transgender Day of Visibility, and then kind of answer some frequently asked questions that I get asked kind of often about being trans, and just kind of get those questions out of the way. But before I do that, I want to thank every single one of you guys that have already subscribed. And if you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button now, because we do all types of cool things on here that are transgender related as well as non-transgender related. Not very often, but mostly transgender related. And it is interactive, so I would love for you to be able to ask me questions. You know, if some of these questions spark more questions for you, then you can ask me. That's the point. But please hit that subscribe button so that you can follow along and see videos whenever I post them. I do try to post about once or twice a week. Now that I am basically quarantined and only have one job that's essential for 4 days a week, I'll probably be posting a little bit more because I'm bored. But anyways, so the main reason for having Transgender Day of Visibility is just kind of in November we have Transgender Day of Remembrance, and it's kind of for like a mourning because of the people we lost. And today is more of a positivity day. It's like, hey, you know, we're here, and you know, there's a reason why we have it, and the whole point is really just kind of, we were kind of shoved to the background during the whole LGBT movement that started back in 1969 at Stonewall, even though we started it. And so now we have Transgender Day of Visibility to try to, like, hey, put the forefront of transgender issues in society, to show that, you know, we're here, we are normal human beings, and we just deserve the same kind of rights as you are. And some of these things that I'm gonna say, you know, have affected me. Some of them have affected my friends. I know every single one of these things I'm gonna tell you, I know people who have been affected by them. And some of the main reasons that we have these are basically for these statistics. Trans people are just not really treated fairly in today's society yet, and we're still fighting for those rights. Like, for example, a trans person can be evicted from their house, and 1 in 8 trans people actually have been evicted from their housing just for being transgender. This has not happened to me before. However, I have been homeless, and 1 in 5 transgender people experiencing being homeless in their lifetime as well. So, like, these are major issues that need to be resolved, but a lot of the things that keep that from being resolved are political things that basically push back against transgender rights and keep us, you know, from being able to be successful. And it's very much a struggle, like, for transgender women in the workforce, especially because I have, you know, 2 bachelor's and a master's degree, and yet I'm still working an hourly job. Not because I'm not qualified for other jobs, but because, and not 100% because I'm trans, but a lot probably has to do with because I'm trans is the reason I didn't get promotions in previous jobs. I know that, and I was fired from those jobs as well. I do belong in this statistic. 41% of transgender people do attempt suicide. It's a sad thing, and we are the highest minority in the world. There's literally no other minority that attempts suicide more than transgender people, and the reason for it is because a lot of trans people don't get accepted by their family, they don't get accepted by society, and then they're just berated and persecuted constantly to a point where it just gets too much to handle. And for me, it was a little mix of all of those things. Like, I was living in rural Missouri, I was having a hard time with some of my family, you know, accepting me. A lot of my friends were leaving me, and it really just kind of led me down a path. And it's the reason I have this tattoo right now. It covers my scar up, and it's also, if you can't see, it's a cocoon for a butterfly. So it's like my way of expressing, I'm using this as a way of changing and transitioning to a better me, and I actually have a butterfly on my back. So but anyways, I used to work with some trans kids. I don't do it so much anymore, but I do know that 80% of trans kids don't feel safe in school, and that's really sad. And a lot of that comes from a political thing as well, where people are just basically pushing trans kids. In fact, literally Idaho just today on Transgender Day of Visibility just passed 2 anti-transgender bills. One that affects children in schools primarily, basically saying that they're going to look at their genitals to identify themselves. And, that's just not right, because this down here doesn't identify what my gender is in my brain. It just identifies where I stand reproductively within society. And even though I'm not going to work reproductively in society, that's kind of what that's there for, but I'm going to get rid of it. So 49% of people have been physically abused. I have faced this as well. Like I said, if you've heard any of my stories about being a wrestler, I do thank the fact that I wrestled for a long time when I was a kid, because I've had to defend myself and use those type of moves to be able to defend myself. It's happened twice that I remember, not that I don't remember any other times. I don't really consider verbal abuse to be, I just kind of brushed that off. But this is physical abuse. I've been attacked twice, and I've had to defend myself twice. But 49%, that's 1 in 2. That's literally every other trans person is going to be physically abused at some point in their life, just for being trans. So like, these are the reasons why we have Transgender Day of Visibility, and it's very important that, even if you are, not necessarily out and about as trans, that you do support and you let people know what this day is about and why it's important, because that's the point, is to educate. This is our big day to promote education amongst other people other than transgender people about what our lives are like. And so for me to help out with that, I'm going to answer a couple of questions. I've had a list of questions of people that have asked me over and over for the years, just some regular questions that I can think of. And I'm going to tell you, whether they're right or wrong to ask, and then I'm going to answer them anyway, because I'm a nice person. Anyway, so like, one of the biggest questions I get asked all the time is how long I've known I'm trans. And honestly, like, from first memories. Like, I can go back to kindergarten, first, second, third grade, and have memories of where I felt like I was not in the right position. Like, yes, I'm going to school and I'm doing what I'm told, but something just didn't feel right. And I know I can strongly remember a story in 4th grade where I told a fellow student of mine in a lunch line, as we were going to recess, because she said that I couldn't jump rope with her, and because that's a girl activity. And I basically said, well, I'm a girl, right? Like, this is just a body, but I'm really a girl, like, and not really necessarily all in those terms, but in the basic vicinity of, I'm a girl, like, I'm not a boy. Like, yes, I'm supposed to be a boy because that's what people tell me I am, but that's not how I feel on the inside. That's never how I felt on the inside. So, how long have I known? Like, literally, I can go back to memories from my earliest memories. Another question I get is kind of an inappropriate question, but I do tend to answer this for most people, because they ask me questions like, are you fully transitioned? And the next question kind of comes along with it, but we'll get to it. But like, the reason I don't like this question, and I think it's kind of an inappropriate question to ask, is because every girl transitions differently. And I personally don't feel like I'm gonna be finished anytime soon, or if I will ever be finished. So when you ask me, if I'm fully transitioned, I have a hard time answering that, because I know for sure I'm not. Now, I am happy where I am. I'm very confident in where I am as far as being transitioned at this point, but I definitely don't feel like I'm finished. Do I feel like I will reach a finished point? Maybe. I don't know. The next question kind of gets closer to that, which is also kind of an inappropriate question, but I get this a lot. Have you had any surgeries, or are you going to have any surgeries? First off, not every trans person has surgeries. It's not required for being trans. You don't have to have surgery to alter your physical body in any form or fashion. Trans is in it's the brain, it's your feelings, it's your soul. It's not physical. What we change physically is merely for our own appeal, not necessarily for the appeal of the outer world. It's what we change for our own appeal. So not every girl or every trans boy has any kind of surgery. So I really don't like this question. I think it's inappropriate to ask somebody that question, because it's really just not your business, but I'll answer it. Here we go. So I have actively never had any surgeries based towards my transition. Now, growing up, I had surgeries on my ears, surgeries on a couple other things, but based on my transition, I've not had any surgeries. All of this is 100% hormones and hard work. I worked down from 285 pounds to a slim 100 and... But I've lost a lot of weight. And these are a full natural B cup as they are right now. The only thing I haven't done, and I will do, is I am going to have sexual reassignment surgery where I get everything done down here. I have also considered a tummy tuck as well and some other things, but those are very, very far down the road for me, because the more important thing to me is getting this done. And hopefully the point of this channel starting was to get to that surgery, which at this point we're looking at summer of 2021 in Thailand. Keep our fingers crossed for that. So the last question I'm actually not going to answer because I think it deserves its own video, and I'm just going to kind of plug it because it's a video that's coming in the future. But I get asked, what do I feel like I missed out on, or what is it, what would I have done different had I transitioned sooner in life? And that is such a deep question. There's so much I could say to all of that it deserves its own video. So I'm gonna save that for its own video. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please hit that like button. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna miss up saying the most important thing. So anyways, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter at BrittanyRose2. As well as you can donate to my Patreon if you feel like you would like to. That's /BrittanyRose on patreon.com. Once again, I love every single one of you guys. Have a wonderful Transgender Day of Visibility. I will talk to you guys all later. Bye-bye!